Hey yo, salute to all my subscribers. Special shout out to everybody else passing through. YouTube, what's good? So take a look at this article I just came across this morning. Caption: the article's headline reads, "Photo of dad shooting his son, changing his son's diaper on a laptop in a public restroom." Now this is a father out of Florida who's experiencing something that I've been talking about for years. Now this article, I would imagine by some people, are probably going to be overlooked. And I would also imagine that this article is probably going to get some comments on some forums or social media, wherever it ends up being shared, because this story did go viral. The picture that one of this father's sons took of him changing his baby's diaper in a public men's room in Florida, where the bathroom had no baby changing station. Now, I've been coming across this issue for years. Going back at least 10 years. And I've always said that fathers are treated, not only in society, but in the court system, and even a lot of times in their own family units, and even by the women that they have these children with, fathers are often treated as auxiliary parents. And I've been saying for years that the shit is disrespectful. This shit is, it's a double standard. For all of the inequalities that women talk about having, which do exist, I've been also saying for a very long time that men face a lot of gender inequality as well. And this issue is not a small issue, because there are so many fathers, and as this article points out, more now than ever before, fathers who are taking on roles that maybe traditional fathers or older fathers, didn't do, not because they couldn't, but because they felt like it wasn't their place to do those things. But these new generation fathers in my generation and the generation even before mine, and the generation that's coming up right behind mine, fathers are taking very active roles in their children's lives. Everything from changing diapers to becoming stay-at-home dads. And again, I've talked about this before on my platform. I worked nights for years and stayed at home during the day to raise my children. And these types of things I've seen come up over and over again. And while this article might not be, talking about something as serious as some of the inequalities that women have to deal with, this is just another example of how fathers are not respected as parents. Because there are so many establishments where men's rooms don't have public changing stations for babies, for diapers. And it to me, logically, it makes no sense. I could understand if we were still in the 50s and the 60s, even the 70s or the 80s, where it was just assumed, by big business, by society as a whole, that, men didn't really go out public places alone with their children, and that you never really found men doing these types of things. But for the men who did even back then, and for the countless number of men who do now, this type of shit makes it extremely difficult. So why am I putting this article on this YouTube channel? Two reasons. One, not just because this channel is about life, relationships, and everything in between, and an article like this, an issue like this, that I'm sure many fathers like myself and this father in Florida who is in this picture, who had this issue, have to deal with every day. The bigger problem is that with the change in culture, with so many things, it's about time that these businesses, these establishments, start to realize that children don't just have one parent. And just like you would naturally, commonsensically put baby changing stations in any woman's room, you should only logically think that these things would need to be in fathers' rooms as well. It doesn't matter how often you think they're going to be used or how often you think they're not going to be used. If we're going to talk about inequality on one side, then we need to deal with that equally across the board. I say it all the time that equal is not always the same. It doesn't look the same. But if you have a child, you know that child came from two parents, it's only reasonable to assume that at some point a child is going to be somewhere with their father and need their diaper changed, and that father can't go into a woman's room. So why would you not put a baby changing station for the the pennies that it costs on the dollar to do that and have that installed in your establishment. It doesn't make any sense. There are places you go into where they not only have women's rooms, restrooms, they have like this whole separate family bathroom for situations like this. And it just, it still surprises me that something that I've been talking about for years is finally now getting some kind of recognition because of a photo that went viral and now this news article that popped up. But who knows how far this is going to go. So this father's public call to action was that we do something to change these types of scenarios so that fathers who are stepping up to do their jobs have the proper tools, at their disposal to do these things. See, this is a small matter, but I'm using it to portray a much larger issue. Society for so long, women for so long, people in general for so long, coming down on fathers, saying that we need to be more involved, we need to be more, dedicated, we need to be more nurturing when it comes to our children. Well, that's great, but if you're going to expect not only fathers, but anybody with anything in life, if you're going to expect certain action, certain behavior, you're going to expect certain things to be done, then you need to have infrastructure in place for these things to happen. Because now this father could very easily have said, you know what, I'm sick of this. Every time I go into a men's room somewhere, there's no baby changing station. And my son is so comfortable now, the fact that this father had to change his son's diaper while squatting on the floor in the bathroom with a laptop on his lap. And in the article, he mentions how comfortable his son is laying on a laptop having his diaper changed because this father goes through this every single time that he goes out in public. And it's true, and I know it for a fact because I've been talking about this for years. So, again, let's not downplay fathers, men, despite how many of them out there don't handle their responsibilities. What I'm saying is simple and it's logical, and this is why I say all the time on this platform that my logic is undeniable. If you're going to require someone to do something, if you're going to expect and require someone to step up to the plate where it pertains to their responsibilities, whether it's your child, whether it's your friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's a parent, whoever, you can't do that unless there's an equal infrastructure in place for that to be done. Women would never have to worry about this issue. But this is an issue that I'm not even sure most women are aware of. The fact that you go into almost any public men's room in any mall, restaurant, department store, anywhere in this country, because I'm not going to speak for overseas because I don't know, but you go into just about any men's room and you're going to find that there is no baby changing station. And that is ridiculous. It makes no sense. So I just stopped through to shed light on this article. I'm actually going to keep this going. I'm going to share this all over my social media. I wonder if there's a way, maybe there could be some kind of petition that we could get started, because I feel like, it's one of those things that should be a necessity. It's like you have certain wheelchair regulations and wheelchair accessible, laws and rules out there. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I don't pretend to know everything. Just know what I know. See you on the next one. Stop treating fathers like shit. Peace and love.